This is Steve with Mom and Pop Game Shop. Many customers and people we know have been wanting to have what our collection was like, have a room tour. And I guess this is it. First one's official, and I'll show you what 10 years of game collecting looks like. First, I'll start where we take care of our business for our customers. We have 2 Echo Auto Smarts, one as a backup, but we keep these. This is what the disc is clean with. But as you can see, they're just kind of shoved somewhere to where it's the only space we really got to do it, because we wanted to start a store and it just kind of snowballed. It's doing excellent, and I can't thank my customers enough, our customers enough. Holly does more than I do. This is where she works. She really does good. She handles up on stuff. I can't always be there to do it. I'm too busy working at my weekly job, and we just kind of converted this area into it. As you can see, it used to be our computer gaming area. Still is when we have time. Her PC's down. I have to fix it, but she loves Doctor Who. She is a huge Doctor Who fan. That's one of her favorite things. It's signed by all 4 of the cast on that episode and that season, and just, I mean, Doctor Who stuff everywhere. She absolutely loves it. We both play World of Warcraft. I love World of Warcraft on PC for gaming, and that's some pretty neat stuff I've got over the years. It's taken a long time to get this collection. A lot of good stuff. Some stuff I don't have up yet. Still trying to figure out where to put it. But yeah, we used to spend hours playing Warcraft. I played Diablo and some other things. Diablo 3 and 2. But we've been collecting over 10 years, and it amasses. And there's no checks and balances between us because we both love doing it, so it just kind of happened. We have kiosks we collect over the years. They dead, timed out, but just get in touch with your game stores. People ask me where we got this. We found a game store, a GameStop. It was closing down, and they literally sold me this thing for like $15. I mean, I never thought I'd own one ever, but it now has its forever home. They were closing, and they just kind of let me have them. This one actually has the original console, so which, if you know anything about them, it's not a real Wii U. It's actually a computer inside of it. Wii Kiosks, kind of the same thing. We found a connection on Facebook, went and picked it up. About a 4-hour drive round trip. And this is my baby kiosk. This is my 64 kiosk. This came from Monroe, Louisiana. It used to be in Toys R Us over Monroe, or Kmart in Monroe, Louisiana. And I just lucked up, extremely lucky on this. I never thought I'd own something like this. It is not 100% complete because it has got my original 64 in it that I got when I was in 96, 97, around that time. So it's not the not for resale copy, or not for resale version, but I'd rather have that in there anyway. So I don't want to use it as much because, let's face it, I almost wore the thing out. Got a Donkey Kong arcade cocktail. I have to work on the sound. There's something going on with the sound, but it's freaking cool, man. I don't know if I'm going to keep that one or not. It's just, it don't really fit in down here. I'm afraid kids might, break the glass top. If y'all know my son, if you've been at the shop and you've seen him, he doesn't exactly sit still. So, I don't know on that one. We've been collecting for over 10 years. Start collecting, kind of get our mind off of having kids, because we had issues having kids. If anyone knows us, they know that. Fast forward 15 years later, we have Price. We adopted him. He's our adopted son. I love him not a stitch not Fiber and my Ben could love him anymore. So, but we had visions of grandeur one day that we would actually be able to share all this with our son, our daughter, whichever we had at the time. So it just kind of got our mind off of trying to have a baby and work towards building something for when we do have one. So, and now he loves it. He absolutely loves it. This is the newer console area. This is Wii and up. So if it's Wii era or PS3 era or Xbox 360 and newer. So we have the amiibo wall. And we got a few amiibos. I don't know the exact count on them. I know we're like 180 or 190. I don't know if we quite hit 200 yet, but I know we're close. I don't have every single amiibo. I don't want every single amiibo. I like a lot of them, and they're really nice. Man, they come in their own display box. I argue with Holly all the time. She wants to open them. I'm like, look, they come in a display box. So, but we got the Wii U. We got several Wii U's. Sets. We got almost every Lego Dimension figure. And it's freaking cool. I absolutely love the Lego Dimensions. An amazing game. If you like, sandbox game. Toys to Life. Of course, we have Skylanders also. We have Disney Infinity. I don't think we have all of them, but we have most of them. Up to some of the 3.0 we don't really have. Not in a big hurry for that, but they're neat to have. They're fun games. All of them are. We got a lot. The kiosk, we got lucky enough to actually get that from a store when they were removing it. Called them, said, hey, y'all got a kiosk? They said, yeah, we're fixing to throw it away. So I'd say, if I swing by today, can I have it? They said, absolutely. I went in, got it, and brought it home. So we got a kind of a guy messaged us, let us know on Facebook, hey, GameStop's getting rid of those. So got lucky. Like I said, get to know your managers in the area. We have collector editions of every kind. We absolutely love them. Zelda collector edition. Some of the limited run stuff. I'm not so much on a limited run like we used to be, or the limited games, but we are physical collectors. So in order to get a lot of the Steam titles or the indie titles, we had to go with a limited print company, because the only people are making them on physical print. So that's how we ended up with a lot of the limited run stuff, or limited run, super rare, and there's a few others that's like that. Don't really care that it's limited to a certain amount, because I would love to see more people have a chance at getting them. Some of these we waited on for over a year, sometimes a year and a half, 2 years after pre-order before it ever shows up. It just takes time. It takes some time because they're such a small print or small company. It takes time to get them out the door. Some of our collector editions. Some of these were ordered online, not very much. I know this one was for sure. I don't know if that ever actually hit stores. I think it was Amazon or online only. That's pretty neat. It's got like 3 figures in it and some other stuff. The Days Gone. Some of these were bought like GameStop. I would find something I want and I'd grab it over the years. Some of these we actually found out like at pawn shops and stuff. You never know what you're going to find in a pawn shop. Some of them we find garage selling. So that's how we built this collection as a whole. We find stuff in game stores that we like and we buy it too. We love the PlayStation 4. More so the games more like Sedesco or Devolver or Rising Star. Some Deep Silver games, of course. Everyone loves everyone loves the developer that made Dark Souls.
I know.
Well, you might not, but I do. But we've got You don't like From Software? That's crazy. It's crazy talk. Anyways, people that like hard games love From Software. But PS3 collecting, we started, look, when people are looking right, we go left. We don't go after what everyone wants at that time, because if you do, it's outrageous the cost to collect that console. That's why, look, I'm cheap. I'll go ahead and admit that I'm cheap. And that's why that I always try, when people are going right, I go left. I find something that I want, but it's not got the spotlight on it at the time. It helps save money in collecting, and it also gives you good stuff to play that no one's after, so you can actually find some of the harder to find stuff, the rare stuff, for a decent price. Later, that flips, that changes, that goes stupid sometimes. Sometimes those prices, I would never thought that 3D Dot Game Heroes would be like, at one time it's going for like $100 and something. I would never even think they would ever went for $100. I'd say maybe a $40 to $50 game at max, and right now I think it's hovering around 60-ish after coming down for over 100. There's just several games in the PS3 that's excellent. It's just they spiked. COVID, I guess, Corona made it happen. I finally got a PS5. Finally got a PS5. I know we gave one away, but I was waiting for God of War Ragnarok to come out before I got one. And luckily, they're starting to hit the shelves now, which is excellent. People can actually start playing the newer games. And I wouldn't say get rid of your PS4s, but PS5 plays all but like 7 games of the PS4 library. So, no, they're not 100% backwards compatible, like 3, 2, and 1, but it's excellent. Sony actually done that to help out. Got a lot of collector editions. As you can see up top, I love God of War. And more than anything, we love the Nintendo Switch. The Wii U, basically Nintendo. Nintendo, anything we like. For years I've denied it, but I'll be honest with you. I'm a Nintendo fanboy. So is my son. So is Holly. We all absolutely love Nintendo. And Nintendo knew exactly what they were doing when they made the Switch. It is an amazing console. There's no other console that you can just dock, play on TV, grab it, and go and play the same exact game, same exact save anywhere you are. There's nothing else like it. And they do amazing. Yes, it is limited, a little bit limited on hardware, but what is limited on hardware and makes up for in gameplay. No doubt. If you don't have to have 4K and you like playing more Nintendo type games, I mean, that's the best way I can put it. If you like your Marios, you like your Zeldas, you like your Mario Kart style games, I mean, they can stop at Mario Kart 8. They're done. I don't see them making any better. Just make more tracks, that's all. But you can't go wrong with the Switch. I will say this also, the Wii U was an amazing console. There are 167 total games, including some rare releases that were only released in low numbers, special print runs. But 167 games. This is like all but like 20 of them. At one time, we were going for a full set, pretty hard and heavy, and then everyone started going after it. That's when we backed off. Yeah, we're missing like 20 games, but we'll get them eventually. It's a bucket list thing. So it's of no consequence. We'll eventually come across them. The Wii. If y'all have been in our shop, y'all have seen the massive Wii wall. And if you've ever seen pictures of the collection before we purged our Wii collection, you'll see how many we had. We had over 750 Wii games, and now I think we're down to around 400 Wii games total. I just don't like the mechanics of the controls on the Wii. I never did. I'm old school. I like pushing buttons, not shaking hands. So, yeah, it was a huge hit as a gimmick. Extremely gimmicky. That's Nintendo. That's what they're known for. It does extremely well. Holly's baby sisters absolutely love the Wii. Anyone that was born around 2000 era absolutely loved the Wii. It is their console. I don't get that, but that's cool. You know? Now, we had just got done moving stuff around. So now my son has his own area. It he loves Thomas the Train. He loves Legos. I don't have the Legos down here yet, but I do have the Thomas the Train stuff. We have him some mini set up here, which is pretty cool. And the mini Commodore is pretty neat. One of these days, I'll come across a TurboGrafx mini. I absolutely want to play Nutopia 2. I don't have it yet, and I don't want to drop that kind of cash on that game. It's expensive, man. It's like $300 ish. But he loves Sonic. He loves Legos. He loves Minecraft. If y'all ever seen at the booth with a Switch, he's playing Minecraft. If he's watching a tablet where we're working, he's watching Minecraft. He is just in love with Minecraft. But now he has his own area, so he can just chill over here while we're doing what we do, working, or if we want to play a game, he can play a game, or if we all want to pile up on the couch and play a game, we can do that. But this is his area. And I saw these. We have some toys and stuff from our childhood up here, and some things we thought was neat. We kept over the years. A little dark. I know the lighting's not the best, but it works. It's basically a place to put our stuff. So, but it's just neat stuff that catches our eye. We're like, you know what? That's neat. I don't want to leave that. If it's cheap enough, I'll buy it. Garage sale, pawn shop, resale shops, anywhere like that, junk store, that's where we get that kind of stuff. So same thing with this stuff. Now this came out of Family Video. This was Family Video was closing. One of the last great rental stores was closing, and we actually got this from them. Paid for it. We did buy it, but when they closed out, that's also where we got our disc cleaning machines. So these are neat. I like this. One day that will probably be in the brick and mortar store. This is our handheld area. Okay, our handheld area, mostly her handheld area. I know you heard that. She's the one with the camera. I don't know, some of it's mine. We've got like, not everyone. We got a lot of the GBA stuff, SP or regular GBA. We got a lot of the DS's, the DS Lites, DSi XLs, a lot of special editions. PSPs, Slab 2DS. We have tons of games. I mean, it's this is our organization right now. I've got games for systems I don't even own. I don't own a Virtual Boy yet. Bucket list item. A good working Virtual Boy. Probably have the ribbon cable solder done to it if I ever get one. PSPs, PS Vitas. I don't know if they release more than 3 colors in the US. I'm not sure. Black, white, blue, black OLED. And these two are 2000s. Special edition 3DS XLs. We've got quite a few we collect over the years. Of course, the Pokemon. Well, just the big box items. This is the games. These are the games and systems we've just, over the years, we've got. So, these are the ones that need to be repaired. I have a pile of stuff I need to do an order for if I ever get the time. But in 2023, this is the kind of stuff we plan on focusing on, working on. Hopefully we'll get there. I'm sure we'll get some of them turned out. I know there's people been asking for handheld systems. OG Game Boys, Game Boy Colors, GBAs. There's some special editions in there. There's some really good stuff there. And Game Gears. Now, most of the Game Gears need a cat kit. If anyone knows what that is, it takes a lot of soldering. It's like 80 or 90 capacitors or something like that. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it hard yet. I just know it's about a 2-hour job, 2.5-hour job, roughly. I'm sure I can do it. That's not a problem. It's having the time. So, but one of these years I get around to it. Stuff we collected over the years. Really odd stuff. Definitely oddball stuff. This This is probably the shining pride and joy of her handheld stuff. This is the Game Boy, the Singer Isaac 150th anniversary Game Boy controlled sewing machine. I don't have the game. I've got it. It's in here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. But you pop the game in, you hook it up to your Game Boy Color. It came with a teal Game Boy Color. And you can select what stitch style you want and hit begin and then hold the pedal down and it will actually sew that stitch. So there's a few other things it does, but I know it does that for sure. Complete in box stuff we collected over the years. It's just lots of stuff. We've had over 10 years to find this stuff. So you don't see stuff like this anymore, and you really don't see stuff in this kind of condition anymore. It's just really good stuff. We have pretty good PSP selection. We have some UMDs, which if anyone knows what that is Universal Media Disc. It's used on the PSP. It's like movies or songs or something like that. 3DS games, DS games. We don't try to go after everything complete in box. We've got, as you saw back there with the bucket, we have a lot of loose games. But if we can find them, we like them that way. We're collectors. We're weird like that. We'll pay a little more for that. We have more PSP games. More DS games. I forget what the count is, but I know it's a lot. Over the years, we just found them. We've got the Vita collection, which is, if anyone goes after Vita stuff, that stuff's sitting there because I have no room for it. If anyone goes after Vita stuff, they know that this is actually, it don't look like much, but it's actually a pretty substantial Vita collection. We started collecting it like before, like I said. Everyone went right, we went left. We found them for a decent price and we bought them. So we bought a lot of that brand new. There's a lot of it still sealed, matter of fact. They just haven't got around to playing, so we just haven't opened it yet. I mean, I've even got more games in here. There are loose games. I mean, just over the years, it used to, the rule was we didn't have it, we kept it. That's starting to change a little bit because it's going to be hard to play. My gosh, we pulled out probably 1,500 games, and we're still at 6,000 something, over 6,000 games. We will never play those. My son might one of these days. He'll finish them off, but I wouldn't. Of course, I have to show off Holly's Morpher. She was ecstatic when she actually found it. I always liked the Blue Ranger. That was just me. But we don't have just games. We also collect toys and stuff. I just figured I'd show you while we were sweeping through. Just little toys we find in boxes here, there, and yonder. We collect over the years. But I'll come more to those in depth in a minute. You find them for a nickel in a bin, you buy them. They're just neat. 360 kiosks. Of course, the Zord head. She had to show that. 360 kiosk. I got lucky enough to get one of these. It works, but don't. You have to have it because of the Medusa controller. You have to have a disc. The disc that was in it was corrupted, so there's nothing I can do about it. But buy a disc, and they're stupid expensive. So it's on. It works, but it just leaves a screen that says this disc has nothing on it. So it's a good console. 360 is the most powerful out of the two. So I was just more of a PlayStation fan. Never really an Xbox fan, besides the OG Xbox. We have these. These actually house our controllers. They're a mess right now, but they hold all our controllers, which we have a lot of weird, oddball controllers. If you've been in the store, if you talk to us, you know we like the weird and odd stuff. It's very interesting. But we just keep the controllers in here, and as we need them, we pull them out. Really neat one. The Dragon controller for the OG Xbox. I forget where we found it. I think it was either Oklahoma or Texas on a road trip. The Fleshies. There's another Fleshie. The Fighter controller, Dragon Ball controller for PS2. SpongeBob for PS2. Just the oddball stuff we keep in here also. Number one, we collect it. Number two, I don't want Price tearing it up. He's still too young yet to know preservation. But we do have controls to play with in there too. So this is the retro area. This is GameCube, OG Xbox, and PS2, and older. Not much on the Atari. We pulled out the Atari. I know people are going to be upset I said that. I played it when I was a kid. I do have a 400. Don't have an XE. We do have a ColecoVision. I just don't have it hooked up right now. But this was our childhood. This is what we love. This area is absolutely what got us started in collecting. That down there was more of an expansion. We like them, yes. I like to play up-to-date games, but this is where our true passion is. But I will say this, you do not come across a collection like this in just like 6 months to a year. There's guys that do, but they go on eBay or they go on Amazon or hook up with deals and stuff, and they pay massive amounts to get something like this. Yeah, you can complete an NES set in 3 months. I've seen people do it. That NES set probably just cost you $40,000 to complete in 3 months. It's all in what you want to spend on it and how fast you want it. Our Genesis games, or Master System games, we've actually picked through. There's some that we left in there that we may take out later. But on the Master System, we're pretty solid on what we got. I think we're missing 2 or 3 games that we want. These are the ones I love, the Jaguar games. I don't have many, but what I do have is pretty decent. So, one of these days I'll find more. You just don't see many Jaguar. Same thing as TurboGrafx. You just don't see many of them. I would say failed systems. Honestly, I don't know how. Probably because they're too ahead of the time at the moment. But it's like the Dreamcast. It was an amazing system. One of my favorites. It was too far ahead of its time. And of course the DVD playback, that kind of killed it on the PS2. So it happened. I will talk about this. I never thought I would own one of these. This is a Sharp NES TV. SV19111, I believe, is the model. I can't remember exactly. But this has got a Nintendo built into it. So I've just got a game just reeling, doing a screen scroll. But yeah, it's got a built-in NES, man. You can't make this stuff up. They didn't make many of them. The big box stores are where they sold them. And there's not many of these out there. Like I said, totally blown away actually to have it. There's a few things in here, like the Giant Mario. I never thought I'd ever own it. I literally bought this from a game store. They sold it to me. I was joking when I said they asked if there's anything I want. And if there's anything they help me with, I said, yeah, I want to buy that. I pointed to this. And they said, okay, it's for sale. I'm like, and the price I pay for it is that's pretty much, here, shut up and take my money. Let me pay for this. And then I looked around the store. So I actually know the owner now. Really cool guy. They're good people over there. But no, I actually got that from a game store. So, got my Jaguar, my TurboGrafx. Of course, NES, SNES, 64, GameCube. And I will say this. These boxes, it's taken a long time to find those boxes. There's a Nintendo Power Collection. I think we're almost halfway, I believe. I do have some issues over there in the magazine rack also. Issue number 1 is over there, and some others, but I believe we're almost halfway. So, Rob, if y'all have never seen Rob, it's pretty cool. Robotic Operating Buddy. He played on NES. You would actually put the NES controller here backwards, and this is Gyromite, what's hooked up. It has these gyros right here that actually, these have never been used, but they actually spin up. Centrifugal force keeps them going, and he sets them down on whichever button you need for Gyromite. It's pretty cool. This one does work. It's really neat to see him in action. He came in this, and he could be a standalone also, but a lot of people got him out of this. This was not the test set, but the deluxe sets were some of the earliest sets released, and then they started coming out with the action sets and all the others, challenge set, action set, power sets. There's all kinds of different sets. There's like 6 or 8 different sets for NES, not including variants. 64 stuff. Absolutely love the 64. It was big for me. Holly, not so much. She gets the motion sickness playing it because of the blurriness. I had one as a kid, early high school. Absolutely love the 64. Favorite game on the 64 of all time. Ocarina of Time. Absolute favorite game. Majora's Mask was okay. I know I'm probably going to get some backlash for saying that, but it felt like more of a side note than a sequel to Ocarina of Time. I think it was supposed to actually be that. Now I read up on it. But box stuff, we have... I mean, it's taken years to get this stuff. The Super Nintendo stuff, we don't have what we want. Not all that we want. We have a lot. We have a lot we don't want. So eventually I'll cull that out, take some of the stuff out that we don't want, and replace the spot with stuff we do. It's a process over time. But like I said before, this is years of being, okay, I don't have that, let's keep that. Let's pick that up. And then, of course, the box NES stuff. Awesome dude that makes these up at the shop. If you're ever looking for these, let me know. I'll try to get a hold of him. I won't make a dime off of it. It'll go 100% towards him. But these are really freaking cool. I love these little perler arts. He does really good with them. But he said, I don't know if he'll ever make this again, but he said this was a nightmare. But these are really, really good. You'll see them scattered around. These made for us, and we worked out a deal on. This is the NES set. We are 49 titles away from a full North American NES set. This has a lot of variants. A full North American set would take up about this much room. But as you can see on some of these titles, you'll see several copies of a title. That's because there's several different variants. It's just something that kind of kept it fresh, kept collecting it fresh, because the cost, as you narrow down to the lower number, the cost starts to go up. So unless you're lucky and just catch it at a deal, you end up paying out for some games. I mean, there's some really expensive games on this. But bucket list, we will eventually finish this. There's some amazing games on this where a lot, if not all, of the major franchise we know and love today got started on NES. I mean, Zelda, Mario. Well, Mario kind of got started before Mario Brothers, but the platformer truly got started here. Of course, Metroid. Who could forget Metroid? Donkey Kong was continued on from the arcade to this. I mean, this is like a 90s kid's dream. This and this area here. This is absolutely the stuff we love. This is our passion. And if we were to have to sell 90% of the stuff down here, this is probably what we'd keep for the most part. I mean, we'd keep a few of the others, but cartridge stuff, it's just where our passion is. This is our GameCube. I don't know exactly how many we got. I've got some harder to find stuff that I picked up years ago when no one cared about it. Got some really good stuff on there. This is our PS2 area. PS2 side. That's freaking cool. I got a deal on that. I actually have to get a little work done to it. So, but I've got that worked out. I have a guy make it, and he'll make me a new tube for a pretty decent price. Yeah, the GameCube just went crazy in COVID. I don't know what happened. I can't even begin to guess. It skyrocketed. Because of that, I kind of slowed down my collecting for it, because it's hard to pay. You get price memory on things. You remember a price being $30, and you were okay with that. That was a little high, but then it spikes up to $130. You're like, whoa, no, I can't do that. It's not worth $30. It's not worth $130. What happened? Because of that, it kind of holds me back on collecting that stuff. I don't look at this stuff as an investment at all. There's people that do, and that's cool if you do. That's, whatever. I never have. We've always collected to play. We have full intentions of playing every single game we own eventually. At least trying it. I mean, if we try it, we don't like it, we'll get rid of it. But odds are we picked it up because we watched gameplay and it looked amazing. But we've got a pretty decent PS2 selection. We have gone through it and kind of culled out what we don't want. There's still some stuff we could get rid of, but we have culled the PS2 down a pretty good bit. There's some amazing titles on PS2. There really are. They done a good job making games. I think there's a little over 13 or 1600 PS2 games in total. I don't own anywhere near that. I'm not that crazy. I know people who are. They have a full PS2 set, which is insane. I couldn't even imagine. I know people that's got a full Wii set, which is insane. I could never imagine it. But no, there's definitely some good titles on the PS2. Really good exclusives. God of War, that's where it started. Started on PS2. Several things start on PS2. Now we come to the Dreamcast. The CD is okay. I don't mind it. Not a huge fan of it. Number one problem I have with it, disc rot. That scares the crap out of me. That's why I don't own really any expensive games for a CD or the Saturn. I know every disc game is subject to it. I do understand that. But I do know that CD and Saturn are some of the worst about getting disc rot. PS1s also can be pretty bad. 3DO, any of the early CD-ROM era games, they can be bad. Dreamcast, absolutely love Dreamcast. One of my favorite systems. I've got some pretty good Dreamcast games. I mean, most of the Dreamcast stuff's arcade perfect. It's amazing. It really is. Hydro Thunder, one of my favorite games on Dreamcast. Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure 2, amazing. And oddly enough, if you've never played it, you can find a copy of it cheap, which you probably will. It's not worth a lot. Floygan Brothers. It's freaking amazing. It's an amazing game. Not many people actually think about that one. They go after the big ones like, Shenmue and Sonic Adventures and the Power Stone 1 and 2. Yeah, those are amazing games, but there are some games that have been left in the dark on this console that are amazing. They really, really are. Spawn, that's a really good game. Spawn in the Demon's Hand, that's amazing. The Xbox, a lot of people call the Xbox 2. A lot of the developers, once Dreamcast, Sega finally collapsed on the console, and Dreamcast took over, was failed. A lot of the developers went over to Microsoft with the Xbox. That's why a lot of people call it the Xbox 2. There's a lot of good titles on the OG Xbox. It's back before they kind of shared titles so much. Cross, with different platforms, same titles, same platform, or different platform. It's before they done that. They had some amazing exclusives on the OG Xbox. Not so much a 360 fan. That's just me. I know people are going to hate on me for saying that. but I'm just not. I'm a PlayStation fanboy. Y'all saw this. This is the toys and stuff we collect over the years from our childhood mostly. And I will say this, just about everything on the shelf, Price, my son, has played with at one point or another. So he absolutely loves the old school toys. He does not like the new toys. The only thing new he likes is electronics. He absolutely loves the old school stuff, especially the Power Rangers, the Turtles. I mean, all the stuff, Oh, the Ghostbusters. Yes, he absolutely loves the Ghostbusters. He likes the ones especially that have action to them. That's what he eats it up. So, I know a lot of us play with those when we were kids. You can't find stuff like that anymore. But they start coming back out with them again. So, there's a reason to that. We have records. We're not huge record collectors, but we do have some we like. We are currently going through them, and what we don't like, there's another place right beside us called Vintage Vinyl Hunters. If you've never heard of them, look them up. They are amazing people. They got some pretty good stuff. If you're into media collecting, record collecting in particular, record CDs, any kind of music or audiophile stuff, definitely go see Brenda and them. They are really good people at Vintage Vinyl Hunters. Look them up there on Facebook. Tell them we sent you over there. Maybe they'll help you out with something. If they don't have it, they can probably get it. So she's been doing it for many, many years. We got Fraggle Rock. That was my childhood. Pogs, Fraggle Rock, all this stuff. We've got arcades. No, they're not working. I know this needs a tube. When I bought it, they laid it in the back of the truck before I could get to them and say, don't do that. And the modder came back and smacked the neck on the tube, crushed it. This one, I'm not sure. I got to play with it. Mrs. Pac-Man machine, original Mrs. Pac-Man machine, serial number 376, which is incredibly low. I just have to have time to mess with it. Speakeasy, working arcade, or working pinball. I haven't had time to clean it up and everything. I need to buff the points and everything on it. I've still got the top folded down on it. We have manuals galore. If you ever wonder if we buy manuals, well, there's your answer. Yes, we absolutely do. Do we buy boxes? Yes. Do we buy, is it game related? Yes, we buy it. There's not much we don't. Video game related especially. Yeah, I've got work to do. That's a pile of controllers. Everything there needs work. Everything from Atari all the way to Switch to PS5 and then everything in between. This is stuff that we are kind of sitting on right now. I don't want to bring it up there until we open up, full time. Yes, a lot of this stuff will be for sale. There's some pretty decent stuff in there. We do keep empty cases. I'll give credit on empty case if it's a good empty case. If it, it's got to be a decent title. But if it's a good, decent title and the artwork looks legitimately good, I will absolutely give credit on it. Just so I can slap a disc in it and stick it on the shelf and it doesn't look like crap. I know we do the best we can with our cover art, but at the same time, we know our cover art looks like crap compared to the OG cover art that it came with. Basically, all we do is print our name on a piece of paper and write a name on the back of it. And I know a lot of people, especially me, do not really care for that. But, yeah, we do buy some broken stuff. It depends on how far gone it is. We don't give much on it because we have to put money into it to fix it. Order parts, or we can take the part off of this, make one out of 3 work. This is what happens after we get done with that. When I tell you we have extra consoles, we're a little bit low right now, but these are extra consoles. Need a Wii? We've got a couple. So, definitely got a few Wiis. But these are extra consoles that are not at the shop. We just don't have room for them right now. Maybe one day. These are all the parts. Not for those bundles. These are extra parts. Every single thing you see in these micro boxes has been personally hand tested, cleaned, and bagged by Holly herself. I help very little as I don't have time. She really is the heartbeat of the store. She absolutely is. But got more old school stuff. She loved Treasure Trolls when she was a kid. I know someone that really, really, really wants the Battle Trolls. So I haven't seen any in a long time, but if I ever come across them, I'm going to hand them off to him. Harry Potter, she's a huge Harry. We both are. We love Harry Potter. We actually got that when we were up at Funko headquarters in Everett, Washington. So that was pretty neat. It was actually a Funko headquarters exclusive. That's a neat trip. Anyways, Nintendo headquarters too. That was pretty awesome. But we've got just stuff from our childhood. More Power Rangers, more World of Warcraft, God of War, and just so on and so forth. I say we don't collect pops, but I think we kind of do a little bit. We got a few of them. I've never actually sat down and count how many we have, but looking at it now, my gosh. But it's stuff from our childhood we absolutely love. Stuff we love now. Especially Doctor Who stuff. Of course, adipose. I think there's 2 or 3 adipose up there. But I think they come in the thousands, you know, so that's okay too. Daleks. And of course, like almost every freaking Doctor Who pop ever. So we got, of course, we have to have an area for eating. If we're going to spend time down here, this is where our family spends time. So there's the spot for eating. Got an oven, a microwave, a refrigerator. No, I'm not moving a bed and a shower down here. That'd be awesome. Of course, we absolutely have to have a coffee machine when we're down here playing WoW or gaming on the console or whatever we're doing. This is pretty neat. This came from Sulphur Springs Family Video. It was pretty neat to find that. They actually sold it to me when I was picking up one of the machines. So I hate that they're gone. I hate that they're gone. And hopefully nostalgia will keep on and people will continue being nostalgic about things, because if they're not, the video game store is going to end up going the way of the rental stores were. So we collect physical. We love physical, as you can see. We absolutely, this is our thing. So we don't want that happening. Everyone's getting downloaded games, and more often you hear download codes and this and that, and just paying for the digital versus the physical. But trust me, if it's digital, you don't own it. They own the rights to it. If it's physical, you own the disc, you have the game. So nowadays, yes, it might be a download or something, but back in our day, we didn't have DLC or anything. So if we had a glitch game, we just bought a glitch game. You figured out the glitch, you used it to your advantage. That's just how it was. But yeah, this is our cave, I guess you would call it, collecting cave. So, but over 10 years of collecting, 6,200 games roughly, and just miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of road trips to junk shops between here and the West Coast sometimes, once, I know at least, but mainly in the Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas area, some Oklahoma, but a little bit of Missouri, but mainly in that area. This is where all of this comes from. We have got maybe 6 or 7 things from eBay in this basement, ever. I'm proud to say that. We do not go to eBay, we do not go online unless it's ordering brand new games. That's the only time we do it. If I can find them at a local store, I'd order them. When we open our local brick and mortar, I absolutely plan on having some, I don't want to say I order every single game coming out, but some of the lower run games that just kind of get pushed to the back burner, I love to have some in the store. So, but yeah, everything you see here was found like that. So, there it is. There's our game room. Mom and Pop Game Shop. Come see us.